All right, I'm gonna be brutally honest. Ladies, you are in a relationship that is not going to end in marriage, meaning that the guy that you're with, he's not gonna propose to you, you're not gonna get married. And there's a couple things that you need to recognize when I speak about a man actually being ready for marriage and why he has not proposed to you yet, or he doesn't even plan to even marry you at all. You might be in a relationship right now where you guys been together for a while, you guys been, dating for some time, some years, things of that nature, and you're wondering, when he's gonna ask the question, when is he going to propose to me, when are we gonna become what we talked about? The reality is, he's probably not going to propose. But the reality is, a lot of men are not ready to make that commitment. A lot of men are okay with being in a relationship, but not making a full commitment to marry the woman that they're with. Now, 100% transparency, my belief is that if you are dating, you should be dating for marriage. That's just my opinion. Like if you're dating somebody or you're in a relationship in some form of capacity, you should be able to know if you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody. When you're in a relationship, it's really practice for a marriage. That's just my opinion. When you're dating, that's the phase of, can we work a relationship? Can I see this person being long-term in a relationship or, possibly marriage? But when you're in a relationship, this is an active step into trying to get to the next phase, which is marriage. Now, the issue is a lot of times, especially with men, we don't see past the marriage. And this is a issue that I've struggled with prior to being married. This is an issue that a lot of men that I work with, they come to me and they say like, how do you know you're ready? And, when did you know you were ready to get married? And how did you propose? And all these different questions. And the simple answer to that is you really know if you're ready or not. And I believe that men, even when we're dating or we're in a relationship, we know if a woman is wifey material or not. So one of the reasons why he hasn't proposed to you is that he doesn't see you as wifey material. That's, I don't know, I might stir up some pots and that might make some of y'all upset, but that's the fact of the matter. He doesn't see you as a wife. He may see you as a girlfriend. He may see you as, somebody you could bring around his mom. You may be a cool girl, educated, and, you might have all the things going for you, but he doesn't see you as a wife. Is that a knock against you? Probably not, because you've probably done all the things to show like, hey, I can be a wife, or I can do these things. Or it is a knock against you and you haven't done those things. There is certain aspects where, I feel a man, knows what he wants. And sometimes when he doesn't get it, we may act as if, hey, I know what I want and I know that I want to be with this person. But at the end of the day, there's instinctively men, we know when we see somebody and we can be with their long term. Now, this is the part where if you have been dating with somebody, you've been in a relationship for a long time, you really need to have an honest conversation with this person. Like, hey, what are the next steps? And that's not forcing marriage, or that's not, insinuating like, hey, we need to get married right now. But what it does is gives transparency on what are we doing? What are we doing? We've been together for some years. What are we really doing? Especially if you've grown. I can see if you're in your 20s or, you're young and things of that nature, you're still trying to get to know somebody, or you're really trying to get to know yourself. But if you've grown for real, it's games to be played. Games are being played. So you need to really think about, even if you're willing to be dragged on by a man, if he's not ready to get married. So that's the first thing. He doesn't see you as a wife. The second thing is, a man is not emotionally ready to be married. A man is not emotionally ready to be married. Now, this is what I mean. Because a man may say he's ready and may want these things and want to get married and want to have kids and a family or whatever, all the good things. But if a man is not emotionally ready, he's going to drag you along until he feels like you're ready. And what I mean by that is you may go through hell waiting for him to get emotionally ready while he's trying to figure it out. Ladies, if you're with a man and he's not emotionally ready to be married and you guys been together for some time, that's where you may have to reevaluate your position in the relationship. Meaning, are you willing to be dragged along? Because when a man is emotionally ready, there's a firm commitment to that. And the big thing too, when we're talking about being emotionally ready, especially as a man, we have to really think about, this is just from a male perspective, how much work is it to be married? Matter of fact, let's back up even more. How much work is it to be in a committed relationship? Because a lot of men, we want to be married and we want these certain things, but we don't really realize like how much work it is. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody says, at the end of the day, if you're living in a world such as we live in right now, it is a lot more work to be faithful and be committed as it is to not be faithful and uncommitted in a relationship. There's a lot more access to people, I will say. Men have more access to women. Women have more access to men, to where you can easily put yourself in a position to be unfaithful in a relationship. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to cheat. It's not that hard to, find another woman. It's not that hard for a man to cheat and, do all these things. It's a lot harder to stay faithful and committed. Not even just from a standpoint of like, okay, like a man has sexual desires or he has all these different things. It's just a fact of the matter of like you making a commitment. You making a commitment to stick to one person. And I know men out there, and this is the whole thing. It was like, what about polygamy, or what about, okay, men can have multiple women, and it's that's how men are supposed to be. I don't subscribe to that, and I'll do a whole nother video on that. I don't subscribe to like the idea of like polygamy. The only reason is because I don't feel like we men, like we're designed, like, yeah, we're designed to like have, high sex drives and, the whole debate of like, oh, a woman should, a woman can only get pregnant and a man could get multiple women pregnant. That's why it's justified. And I know I'm going on a tangent, but the reason why I'm saying I don't subscribe to it is because me being a man of God, like in the Garden of Eden, God didn't create Adam, Eve, and Eva. You know what I mean? So that's a whole nother story for no other topic. But what I'm more so getting, I'm gonna bring it back. I promise I'm gonna bring it back. I know it's going on a tangent. Men, we can be faithful. We just feel like we can't be faithful. We want to have options. We want to have insurance policies. We've been hurt before, so we want to, make sure we have multiple women on the side just in case something happens. And this is where, if a man is doing that, he is not emotionally ready to get married. And sometimes if you've been with a man for some time and, he's been talking to other women, or, you caught him cheating and you're still with him, he's not emotionally ready to be married. Now it's up to you to make a decision whether or not you want to even marry this man, or you're waiting for him to propose to you, because it probably wouldn't work out if he's still doing that and he's trying to propose to you. And sometimes, this is where marriage is so screwed up in our society, is where we have TV shows around it and all this other stuff. But when we talk about, a man like, okay, well, I'm gonna propose to you and I'm sorry. And, proposals and, acting like you want to get married is seen as like an apology. It's not, it shouldn't be covered as an apology. It should be covered as a commitment. Now, I feel like I was going on a tangent, but I feel like it's helpful to talk about, especially, if you're waiting for a man to propose to you and he's been doing all these things. The other part of this, and this is the last point I'm gonna make about it, is if a man has been showing you that he's not aligned with marriage, but he's telling you that he wants to be married, that's a huge red flag. So you can't go based off of what a man is always saying. You have to go based off what he's doing. Is he acting as if you guys are trying to build and get married? Is he acting as if he wants to be a husband to you? Is he preparing himself for marriage by doing all the things that needs to be done based on what you guys discussed on, you know, what you're going to tolerate, not tolerate, what are the do's and don'ts, what is it you're looking for long term, you know, do you guys want to have kids together, and all those different things. Like, is there preparation for all these things? Is he abiding by his word? Because women, sometimes what y'all do is you guys go based off what we say as opposed to what we do. Now, we appreciate the grace as men, as you know, you're giving us the grace of like, okay, well, I'm gonna allow him for his actions to catch up with his words. But at your expense of being emotionally drained, that's not the healthiest thing in the world. That's not the healthiest thing in the world, for you to be emotionally drained, waiting for marriage, waiting for him to get it together. He's doing all the things that he's not supposed to be doing in order for you to build a healthier union. You don't have to be at that expense. You don't have to be at that expense. And you don't have to be consistently abused and, you know, dragged along because this man is trying to figure out whether or not he wants to get married or not. And I'm telling you right now, again, a man knows when he wants to marry you before he even gets into the relationship. He can see you as wifey material. He can see you as the mother of his child. He can see you growing old and being with you. The preparation happens during the relationship, but the commitment happens while you're in a relationship as well too. Because again, just because you got married, things don't change. Whatever you were doing in the relationship, that's going to carry over into the marriage. Marriage isn't this whole holy grail of like, oh, well, everything's okay and we have a fresh start and we're good and nothing else going to bad happen when you've had a whole line of infidelity in your relationship. You've had lying, cheating, you have all these different things. Marriage is not going to be the thing that saves your relationship. Don't feel as if when you get married, just because you made a commitment to God, you guys made this covenant, that is just going to be A-okay. The preparation happens while you're in a relationship. So sis, the reason why he hasn't proposed to you, thinking about him not being emotionally ready, him not seeing you as wifey material, and his behavior. So what I would encourage you to do is not wait around at the expense of your emotions, because there is a man out there that can give you and provide you with the things that you're looking for. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all take care.